Hi, grandparents. We are talking about friendship this month, and today we want to talk a little bit about how to comfort your grands when they lose a friendship. Now, we know, especially with young children, this happens, but even as we get older, friendships kind of come and go, and it's hard to put your finger exactly on what makes a friendship last a lifetime, but we all know most of them don't. So, what do we do when our little beloved grandchild, whether they're 5 or 15 or 25, comes to us and they've lost an important friendship? Let's just talk through a few things here. First of all, especially if they're little, don't dismiss this loss. Even though they may not be fully developed in how to have a good friendship, they feel things passionately, and a little 5-year-old boy or girl who has lost a friend is heartbroken. So don't dismiss it. Don't say, well, you'll have plenty more friends. Yes, they may, but in that moment, their world is shattering. So take the time to think it through and comfort them. Friendships are a relationship of value to us. We see so many people in our lives, and especially with the advent of social media and news being flung at us daily in massive quantities that we can't begin to comprehend, we are almost assaulted with lots and lots of people in our lives, and yet very few of them are people we're actually connected to. So friendships are valuable relationships. We need to understand when a grand loses a friendship that they'll be going through a grieving process. Any loss, whether it's a death, a loss of a friendship, somebody who's been through a tornado and lost their home and all their possessions, these are grieving times during our lifetime. And we have to go through those processes to heal. So I'm going to suggest you do a little looking online, understand the stages of grieving. Typically there's 5 that are accepted as being the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then finally acceptance. So understand that process will happen, and it may not happen in exactly those orders, but your grandchild may be demonstrating any one of those experiences, characteristics during the time that they're kind of reconciling themselves to the loss of a friendship. Be able to talk to them about it and to let them know that those feelings are natural, that they're usual. There's nothing unusual about what they're feeling. It is common, and they will get better. You'll be with them right through every stage of grieving. And then next, I want you to really think about what the word comfort means. It's a common word, but it's always good to look back at definitions. You know that about me. I love definitions. So comfort is to ease or alleviate a person's feeling of grief or distress. So what can you do to ease or alleviate what your grandchild is going through? It is a verb. To comfort someone requires action. It can be a noun too, of course, but in the context that we're talking about today, it's a verb. What can you do? Well, check on them. Here's a perfect opportunity to spend a little more time with your grand than maybe you get to. Take them out for an ice cream cone, or to a movie, or to lunch. Just spend some time hanging out with them and letting them talk to you. Fill some of that time that was lost, that was time they might have spent with their friend. See if they want to talk about it. I know sometimes, in the initial stages, we don't always feel comfortable talking about loss, but as time passes, we tend to, at unusual times often, that comes out and we have questions. And I've noticed that with my grandchildren. We'll talk about something, I don't get much response, And then 2 months later, out of the blue, here's a question. So just be that open door, grandparent. Put it out there that you care about what they've just gone through. You're willing to talk about it now or in the future, and let them know you love them. Your love is stable. They will never lose you. If they want to talk about it, then take what they have to say seriously. I think this is something else sometimes we do with young people is we kind of pat them on the head and say, oh, they'll grow out of this. Well, part of that growing process is learning how to deal with our emotions and our behaviors. And so if we don't take that seriously, how do we expect them to mature properly and to come into adulthood and into maturity? So listen and see what they have to say. Take it seriously and respond gently, thoughtfully, prayerfully, kindly. If they don't want to talk about it, just assure them that you'll be there when they're ready. You are their friend forever. Be there to help analyze when they are ready. Sometimes the most important lessons we learn in life are the ones experienced through loss. And so I would encourage you to open that door gently. Let them know, is there something you feel like could have been done better with your friend? Let them think about it and come up with answers. If they don't know how to answer a question like that, maybe make a few suggestions, but do it gently, watch for the reactions, and then help them to analyze so that they become wiser themselves. And be very careful of the blame game. I know especially with little kids, the younger they are, the easier it is for them to point fingers and say, he or she did this bad thing to me. But as we grow, we typically know that in all relationships, there's responsibility in both parties' courts. And so you need to help your grandchild understand that too, and help them to know what their part in friendship is. And if they've fallen down and not been a good friend, don't judge them. Just help them learn how to do it better next time. So spend a little time comforting your grand when they lose a friendship, and teach them how to be a great friend as they mature and grow, so that they have some of those long-term healthy relationships that we all long for. Take care and be grand, my friend.